and MCAT. In 206, we have Commissioners Strohmeyer and Bureau, Chris Lonsberry, Ann Hughes, Benny Pavlish, Allison France, Emmy Bristow, and myself, Annie Cathy.
All right. Thank you, Annie. Is there any public comment on items not on today's agenda? None. We have a consent agenda with 3 items. Anything we'd like to take off there and discuss?
No, let's get them done. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Any further discussion or public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the one action item today, Kyla, we have a board appointment to the planning board.
Yeah, hi Commissioners. So we had the alternate Brady Potts resign the alternate seat. We had one new applicant, Peter Benson, who has previously been on the board and has time again to fulfill the seat. So the motion would be to appoint him to the remainder of the term, which is through December 31st of 2023. And because it's such a short turnaround time, my suggestion would also be to reappoint him to a new 2-year term, which would be through December 31st, 2025 to the Missoula Consolidated Planning Board.
And he's fine with that extension or that?
Yeah, he would have to do it in the at the fall anyways, and he is wanting to serve. So it just kind of helps on the back end. So he doesn't have to reapply in 2 months.
Got it. Great.
Okay.
I would move to reappoint Peter Benson.
I will second that. I had a great interview with him the other day. So any further discussion or public comment on Peter Benson? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so concludes our action items today. We have a piece of correspondence that we already signed and sent off, I believe, and we're just noticing it.
Yes, Commissioners, this is, as you'll recall, you didn't have a Thursday admin last week, so we weren't able to notice the letter that you signed on Tuesday in support of Beaverhead County's request for an Attorney General's opinion related to the calculation of the state school-wide equalization goals. So, but
Do we send this also to Mako and to Beaverhead County so they know that we did that?
We just sent it to the Attorney General.
We just sent it to the Attorney General. I can send one.
Just so they know.
Yeah.
That we're.
Mako and Beaver.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. This sounds like an interesting item. Inactive user policy.
It's super exciting, and I think Sam was gonna join us. Could you just check in and maybe send a quick message to Sam and see if she's available? Still, so before Jason Emery left as our Chief Information Officer, he had been working on a policy to address when we have a long-term absence by an employee and their ability to access county resources during that time. This really comes about from a cybersecurity standpoint and making sure that our systems are as secure as they possibly
What's
can.
considered a long time?
So in this case, the policy would address employees who are going to be gone for more than 60 days and would not be accessing the system. So this wouldn't be somebody who's out intermittently and is still using the system. This would literally be they're going to be gone for, more than 2 months with no access to, no plan to access the system. And so what this would do is temporarily suspend their account so they wouldn't be able to log in until they return, and then they'd be reactivated and have to change their password. But it would help to prevent, again, when we do have somebody out either on a long-term illness or for other reasons, so that we kind of keep the systems as secure as possible. So, and hopefully, maybe Sam will join us here in just a second and she can talk more about it. But they had, what it would be is the request for those inactivations would be reviewed by our folks at cybersecurity, the apps team through the service desk, and then their reactivation would go through the same process. And if we had somebody who for some reason was going to need access during that time, but we couldn't say the frequency of how often they were going to do it, those would be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, working with department heads. So.
I am attempting to share the meeting invite with them.
Oh, thanks.
They had a bunk link, I think.
Oh, that was probably my fault. Actually, it would have had to have been my fault because I sent it to him. I don't know who else's fault it would be. It would be mine. So,
Martin, thanks for joining us while we're sending that link out. Do you have any questions or comments about anything? Oh, yes.
Hey, yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Just real quick, in a nutshell, what are the impacts to the 95 mills if they are not levied down or reduced on taxpayers?
Yeah, so Martin, I can try and answer that. Across the state, it will generate more than $70 million. I can't tell you the exact amount from Missoula County, but it's a little over $70 million statewide in additional revenue that it will raise.
So if I understand, when property appraisals go up and the mills, state mills stay the same, they levy more money.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
There's a bit of a double standard that we're seeing with the state of Montana. Martin, do you have access to the letter that was that linked to our agenda today?
Yeah, I have it.
Yes.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have, would Martin want Bryson's letter to the governor? Would that be helpful?
Do you have that, Martin? I believe they sent it out with a press release.
I don't believe I have that. I can go look through my emails, but I haven't seen
Okay.
that.
Yeah, let us know if you need it.
Well, maybe
Okay,
Allison,
thank
if you could shoot it to him, then it's at the top of your, you don't have to go mining for it, or is that?
I'll have to go mining for it then. That's the problem.
Thanks, thank you. I'm not a very
I
good
can do
miner,
that,
Allison,
Martin.
but I will.
Okay.
And Sam is on. We're not seeing them on the screen there, but I just joined to confirm.
Oh, great.
Sam, anything you want to add or fill us in on this inactive user policy?
No, it's I think the policy is pretty simple and kind of just helps sort of cement what's expected of management and supervisors when we have an employee that's going to be leaving either permanently or for a period of time. I believe longer than 3 weeks is what we decided on.
Is it yeah, I can remember. Sorry. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah. Because that is obviously a cybersecurity risk if we have accounts that are active but not actually being utilized by the user. And we do have some controls in place already. So we get an inactive user report that comes out weekly. Sometimes when the system admins do a sync, that can mess with the report and they have to go in and redo it. And so that can get a little bit hairy. And I'll also notice, I send out the reminders for KnowBe4 trainings, and I'll very often hear back from a supervisor or department manager saying, oh, this person actually is no longer with the county, or, oh, this person switched departments or supervisors. And I'm like, okay, well, can you submit a ticket so we have that info so we can make the change to supervisors? But it's the ones where they're like, oh, this person's no longer with us. And that's one of the ways that we're tipped off that the change needs to be made. So I think this is just a better way to as supervisors what their responsibilities are when they have an employee that's going to be gone or, permanently or for a long time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I just sent it to you.
Is this something we actually will be formally adopting, or just?
Yeah, so the next step in this is we'll send it out to department heads for comment after we've talked to you, just to make sure that it was something you'd support. And then we'll send it out to department heads for comment. And then after a few weeks of department head comment, we'll bring it back here for the commissioners to adopt and incorporate into the many Missoula County tech policies.
Exactly.
So Sam, I have a question. What happens? So someone is out for, more than the 3 weeks. Are they able to receive emails to that account while they're inactive, or how does that work?
Yeah, the system admins can set it up so that that data isn't lost. And if someone still needs access to that inbox, they can still access those emails. And we can set up forwarding rules and that sort of thing also.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Was that all that you all need from me?
That's it. Thank
Good
you.
today.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a wonderful day and week.
Thanks, you too, Sam.
All right, bye.
And I am not seeing Adrian.
Adrian is on.
She is on.
We don't see the participants on the screen, but
How did we, the whole
Good
list?
morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
we will figure that out. Juan.
So
It's a gallery.
Feel free to
we've had kind of a lackluster fire season, albeit having some pretty large fires on our landscape relatively close to Missoula and within Missoula County. But happy to report that fall appears to be here, and the cooler nights, better recovery with humidities is kind of really putting a damper on fire season, and we're feeling pretty confident that the worst is probably behind us at this point. We do have kind of a warm, dry trend coming for the next couple weeks. Sorry to all those bow hunters out there, but we're still feeling pretty good that with the days getting shorter, nights getting longer, that we're losing the potential to have a really rip-roaring fire, but we'll still keep our ear to the ground and working with our agency partners to ensure that we have good communication and coordination going forward. I will say that the Western Montana All Hazard Incident Management Team is currently assigned to the Colt Lake fire. They've been kind of tasked with putting that fire to bed and doing the kind of shutdown of that fire camp. And so they've been there for about a week, and they should be back and demobbed off of that fire early next week.
Good. Adrian,
Thank you.
anything else we need to discuss today?
I think so.
Okay, we're done. Thanks, everyone.